Hi, everyone that's here. We're just waiting on a couple people, and we will get started right on the dot at 2 o'clock. Thank you for those who are still joining. We're gonna get started here in a minute. We'll just let everyone else get going and join. Alrighty. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our March client success sessions. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Paige Stanley, and I'm the brand ambassador here at ClickBid, and I'll be moderating today's session. This month, we're focusing on mastering ClickBid's donation tools. We're going to walk through some of our key features that help organizations capture more donations, simplify the giving experience for donors, and better tracking their fundraising results. Whether you're setting up donations for an event or collecting support year-round, these tools can help create a smooth and effective giving experience. As we go, feel free to drop questions in the chat at any time. Trevor, one of your account managers, is here with us today and will be help answering some of those questions throughout the session. The format for today's session will be similar to our previous client success sessions. First, we'll do a quick introduction of today's presenters. Then we'll share a brief update on ClickBid's product roadmap, including some of the features that are currently in progress and others that are coming soon. After that, we'll move into the training portion where Aaron will walk through several of ClickBid's donation tools and show you how they work differently in the platform. And at the end, we'll leave a few minutes for some questions and Q&A. Today's training will be led by Aaron Corey, one of our account managers here at ClickBid. Aaron works closely with many of our clients to help them set up their events, optimize their fundraising strategies, and get the most out of the platform. And again, I'm Paige Stanley, the brand ambassador here at ClickBid, and I'll be moderating today's session and helping facilitate questions. Before we jump into the training, I want to take a few minutes to walk through ClickBid's product roadmap so you can see what our development team is currently working on. First, under in progress now, and you'll see that they do have a release date of March 30th. These features have already been built and are currently being tested and refined for our release. One of these updates focuses on peer-to-peer enhancement, which designs to make our team fundraising campaigns easier for donors to participate and support. We're working on table seating chart assignments, which allows you to visually click and drag guests into a seating chart that matches your venue layout, making guest management much easier for in-person events. And we're continuing to expand integration upgrades with our platforms like Neon, Salesforce, Razor's Edge, Virtuous, and Bloomerang. If we move into the coming soon area, these features are fully planned and currently being developed by our team. This includes quick entry for quantity-based items, which allows you to quickly add things like raffles, blind pulls, and directly into the bidder's cart through the ClickBid Butler. We're also improving our landing page builder, adding more customization, better previews for desktop, tablets, and mobile views. Another upcoming update is the ticket invoice customization, which allows you to further personalize the message that's being sent with invoices to your guests. Finally, just a little bit later, we have a few features that are still in early planning stages, which include the ticket page upgrades and item packaging, which allows organizations to group items together and still properly credit the right donors. Now that we've covered what's new and what's coming, we're going to shift into the training portion of today's session. Before I hand things over to Aaron Foley, I'm going to quickly walk through the next slide to help frame what you're about to see. In today's walkthrough, Erin's going to focus on several ClickBid's donation tools that help organizations drive more giving and better manage donations. She'll cover the difference between donation items and online donations, and then we'll walk through how to set up and use several key features, including text to give, embedding donation forms on your website, recurring donations, running donation reports, and custom questions to collect additional information from your donors. These tools allow you to build flexible donation experience and better understand your fundraising performance. At this point, I'm going to hand things over to Erin so she can walk you through the platform and show you these tools in action.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paige.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start by sharing my screen. All right, I think everyone can see this okay. Thank you, Paige, for that introduction, and thank you, everyone, for joining today. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about today is going to be how you can set up an appeal fund a need through ClickBid. I'm going to start under Items, Manage Items, and here I have my fund a need item already set up. If I click into this item, I went ahead and created several denominations that I know the auctioneer will be asking for that night. Below that, I have projected display settings. This is something that you can use if you'd like to show a thermometer and how much you're raising in real time at your event. You have several themes you can choose from. You can show or hide sponsors, add a buffer, and your donation goal. Down here, you can add your own background. And this link here, you can share with your AV team so they can pull this up whenever you're ready to start asking for donations. If I click on this, you'll see we have a total raised, a mission goal, and a spot to thank our donors. You'll start seeing those donor names populate as those donations are coming in and that thermometer start to raise. Next, in order to add those donations, we're going to go to Event Central, Butler. Butler is what you'll use the night of the event for everything, including checkout, check-in, adding bids, and then down here we have the appeal section. I'm going to click on the fund a need item that's listed here, which is directly tied to the item I just showed you. Here you'll see all the denominations that I've added to the existing item. And when the auctioneer starts calling out those bidder numbers, I can start typing those in here. So if he says thank you to bidder number 100 as they raise their paddle, I can type 100, and click enter. Back to my display, you'll see that donor display here, that amount get raised, and the thermometer go up. I can continue to add these as they're being called out and rapidly add them in so that they all display in real time. If the auctioneer maybe mumbled or you didn't quite hear one of his bidder numbers, you can click placeholder, and that's going to create an anonymous donor on this display. And it's going to allow you to stay on top of the total raised so that that is accurate. And then when we're all done, you can delete the placeholder and add in the appropriate bidder. You'll continue to do this as you scroll down, add in the donations for each denomination. And if the auctioneer decides to go rogue, we have a custom amount section down here for you. All right, now similar to the fund a need, I've added an item that's called paddle drop. What I've seen several organizations do at their event is have volunteers walk around after the fund a need is over with some baskets to collect paddles. And anybody that drops their paddle into the basket, they're essentially giving another donation. Sometimes it's a little bit lower amount. And then you can just start typing those denominations, those bidder paddles in here. Just another way to get some more money raised for your event. All right. Back to the main admin. I've added several additional donation items. These I've added as just specific support causes. So if I click into one of these, I've added a few different denominations. I'm allowing recurring donations for this item. So a donor can come in and decide to give once, or they can decide to give monthly. And down here at the bottom, I've added a custom question. These questions can be active. You can decide if you wanted to include drop downs or just a text, and you can make the question required. You can have multiple questions per item. All right. Next, I have donation/text to give. At the beginning of the year, we had our text to give function as an item. We decided that this works better on its own. So under donations text to give, we have settings. This is going to be a completely separate entity, so its own page. You're going to find your links up here. You can copy your link or your QR code, and you can have your donors text your keyword to the 855 number. Down under donation page settings, you can decide what you like your primary color, the secondary color to be, add a title, a couple of suggested giving amounts, and you can do recurring donations for this as well. As we scroll down, we have a donation description, an image you can add, and custom questions for this too. Back to the top of the page, we have the ability to embed this donation form on your organization's website. You can copy the embed code, and then you can put it into your WordPress or Squarespace, and people will be able to give right to that page. Everything will be funneled straight into ClickBid under one platform. We typically recommend that you have a separate event for this so that all those donations are tracked under one event and they're not mingled in with your gala. Let's go ahead and launch this and see what it looks like. So here's my image, my description. You can see the ability to give once or monthly and all of my denominations. All right. If you have any questions about the embeddable donation form, please reach out to your account manager. Below settings, I have manage donations. This is where you can see who gave to that page, the date they gave, how much they gave, the ability to refund, print, or re-email a receipt. Next, I want to show you a couple of reports. Under reports, event sales, you're going to find all of the donations made to your items and anything that was made to your online donation text to give form. This is a great place to get all that data in one spot. If you click the CSV button, this is also going to show you contact information like phone, email, and address if it's on file. After that, I have custom questions. Here's where you can see the responses to all of the questions you're asking. You can easily see which of these is for the online donation text to give form and which is for an item. Click the CSV button to download this data. If you're allowing recurring donations, you can click on the recurring donations tab to view everyone who signed up for monthly donations. The last thing I want to go over on the admin side before we switch over to the landing page is going to be the event ticket page. Under event tickets, ticket page settings, if we scroll down to additional features, you'll find the ability to pull in donation items onto your ticket page. This will help get a few additional donations as you're selling tickets. All right, let's go ahead and open up that landing page. I've added multiple different ways for someone to come here and give. So I'm going to start in the top right corner under donate/text to give. You'll recognize this page as the one I showed you previously. It's just another way to get there. The auction page tab, I pulled in all of my donation items. You'll see the ability to give to the fund in need early and support my different causes. If I click make a donation, each one has the ability to give once or monthly. And as you're going through this, you'll notice that custom question is right here. And then here I have the event tickets page. I'm going to walk you through this briefly. We can add a ticket, and while we're adding tickets to our cart, we can also give. So you're going to find that you can type in whatever amount that you need to, and then answer the custom question that's tied to that item. Okay, back to the main landing page. I've added a couple of action bars here that will also take me to the text to give page and the auction site. This is another way to get people in the right direction. And then down here, I've given you a couple of examples of how you can pull in your donation items for different displays. This is my fund in need item. See the description, give once or monthly, and then that giving activity. see down here, I've added 3 of my donation items to a make a donation section. These will just pull in those particular items. If I have other items in my auction, I can be very selective. And then this here is my auction preview. So if you have other auction items in here, these will also display. This is going to show the first 10 items in your auction. And from here, they can click see all items to get to that auction page. Down here at the bottom, I put in a cumulative total bar so that everyone can see how close I am to reaching my goal. All right, that was everything I had for you today. I'm going to hand this over back to Paige.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Erin. That was a great walkthrough and really helpful to see how these tools come together. At this point, I'm going to take back over and move into questions, into our Q&A. Please use the chat to submit questions. Trevor has been answering them throughout the session, and Erin will pull a few of these questions and answer out loud for everyone that can benefit from them. If something comes to mind, feel free to ask. We're happy to help.
We had a lot of great questions. One of the questions was, if monthly donations are allowed, does that event need to remain open indefinitely?
That is a great question. No, so donations can come in at any time, even if that event is closed, even if it's deactivated, they'll still come in.
We had another good one. Can you connect a thermometer into text to give?
Yes, that is a great question. So you can display all of your text to give donations as well as your appeal donations as they're coming in, or you can just display your text to give donations.
Erin, if it is helpful for this question, if you want to take over sharing and maybe show where you can turn those on and off at.
Yeah, I can certainly do that. All right, so we're sharing
Another
the screen
question.
again.
Are you going through something right now?
Yeah, I wanted to show under the Fund a Need item quick how we can use the projected display settings to choose how we wanted to pull in those donations. So we can exclude text to give, and then all donations to this item can be strictly your text to give if that's all you're taking in, or every donation that's made to this item. Great question.
One more question I thought that was good was that someone didn't see the projection option when they created a new item for the appeal paddle raise.
That is a good question. So when you do create a new item and you choose it as a donation item, it's showing here now, but typically the system does have to save the item first to understand that it is a donation item. So I like to click complete and go back to completely save it, and then go back into the item to find that link here.
And then one more question that I saw a few different times is, what is a donation buffer?
Good question. Under projected display settings, you can add in a donation buffer. This is usually used for offline donations. So if you've received a few checks that you didn't necessarily add into ClickBid, but you wanted it to count towards the display, you can add in an amount here, and that will go towards your thermometer. Great questions.
One moment. There's a few more questions that came in. Um, Someone said, "How do I how do I suggest enhancements to the software?"
You can suggest enhancements under training support, request support by contacting your account manager.
Okay. And that's about all the questions. I can answer the other ones in the chat as well.
Awesome. I know this one was a little on the shorter side, but we can give you guys a little bit more time back in your day.
Yeah, thank you guys for your great questions. And thank you all for joining us again today. We really appreciate you taking the time to be here. You'll receive an email shortly with today's recording from the session, so you can revisit it if you have any questions about what we covered. Definitely reach out to your account manager. That same email will include a short survey as well. I believe it's in the bottom of it. We really appreciate your feedback, and it helps us take these sessions, to the next level, so to make them more valuable for you, and we absolutely love to hear your thoughts. So be sure to join us for our next month's sessions. We'll be covering golf outings and all the different ways you can utilize ClickBid software to help with your golf outings. So definitely looking forward to that one. But thank you all again for joining us today, and we'll give you a little time back in your day. Have a great one.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.